Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week and another episode of the Big Bala Brands podcast. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in and being here with me. Have you guys ever wondered what it means when people say you have to understand and know the language of money? For a lot of people, that's a very confusing, very head scratching, very, I don't know what that is. I did not go to school for finance. I'm not an accountant or any of this. So, what do you mean the language of money? To put it in a way that everyone can maybe understand is it's like playing a game. Now, you may not everyone may be a sports person, but if you watch sports, whether it's NBA or NFL or soccer or whatever, every athlete has to understand the rules of the game. They have to understand their position and how they can make things happen. So, for example, if you're watching NFL, if you're watching football happen, watching what the players are doing, they have to look at the clock. They have to read their defense. They have to make their moves to their entire team. They have to know how to draw the opponent off sides to get 5 more yards. They have to know when to right time take a timeout. They have to know all these things. They have to study it. And that's what a lot of these that's the idea of what it means to learning how to play the game. Coaches have to do the same thing too. They have to know when to challenge a decision that's been made by a ref, or when their team's evaluating something that happened on the playing field and they don't agree with it, they're like, hey, no, we got to look at it more. We don't agree with it. They also have to know the rules that are being played in the game because they're trying to basically make something work in their favor to gain an upper hand, to gain leverage over the other opponent. Both teams are doing this to each other. Politicians are the same. They have to know how to talk to their audience, how to talk to demographic, what moves them, the language to use, things to wear, all these different elements. The reason I say it this way is because a lot of times people think, oh, there's a game being played with money that we don't have access to. It only belongs to the top 1%. But just like in sports, in many ways in life, or if you're going out, if you've gone out and you're basically out in the field, playing the field and trying to talk to that guy or that girl, what are you doing? You're having to read body language. You're listening to what they're saying, how they're saying it. What does one body language thing mean from the other? How is the social situation playing out? You have to learn to understand what's going on in those moments because you're playing the game, is what you're doing. And every game has its parameters, has, you can say, its rules, has the things you can read between the lines, what one thing meant, what the other thing meant, how to gain upper hand, whatever it is. There's a game that's being played. There's something happening in that moment. And you have to learn how to develop that skill. You have to learn the rules and how to enter that game. It's like when people say get into the markets. How do you get into the market? What is the market? The market is a mix of buyers and sellers. That's what the market is. Right? Some people buy things, other people sell things. But I like this idea. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I watch sports and I often think, what is the coach doing right now? What is this player doing? They're trying to find a way in the game after they study the team that's in front of them. They've studied their prior games and understanding how they work, how they function, how can I gain an upper hand? What is their weak points? What is their strengths? Whether we want to maybe believe it or not, or see it or not, there's always a game being played and you have to learn how to master it. Why is Tom Brady, people will say, the greatest of all time? He had to learn the game, the rules of it. He had to understand how the other player works, but he also mastered one key secret thing. He learned how to master the defense. He gained an upper hand in the game, gave himself extra great leverage. So he learned to master the defense so well to know what every move is before they do it, or when there's less than 30 seconds on the clock, how do they function versus how do I perform now? He learned to master the game. So when it comes to money, people say, oh, I don't know that game. Maybe people are confused by that game. It doesn't make sense. It may not be everyone's expertise or everyone's cup of tea. And I totally get that. Because most times, the idea of even understanding how that game is, well, we learn what would be like the ABCs of money is you learn how to earn, spend, go into debt, maybe hopefully maybe invest. For everyone, that's like the most basic principles of money, right? Kind of the ABCs of it. And think of if you were young and you ever played Monopoly, think of that. Monopoly in itself is you're playing the game of money there because it's you and other players on the board. And based on what you could say, everyone's different opportunities in life, when you roll the dice, you're essentially moving either one or two steps forward or further ahead than the other players, right? Depends on everyone's turn. But in the game Monopoly 2, you start with a certain amount of cash, or some people would say liquid on hand, and you go through and if you're lucky, you get on a different property and you're able to purchase the property. And whenever someone lands on it, you charge them rent, right? And as you go across the board, everyone will start purchasing. Now, in the game too, you can buy too much and nothing can happen, or you're basically going to den. You have to wait till you go around the board again and collect your $200. Or you land on someone else's property and they completely wipe you out. Monopoly is a teaching moment there. The board actually kind of taught us at a young age how this kind of works a little bit, even though it was mostly a game for us. But think about it. What is it that most people learn when it comes to playing a game is that there are rules, there are players, there's a strategy, and like anything, there's a consequence. So if there's different games to be played out there, and if you are an athlete or if you do play chess or whatever thing that revolves all this, why not learn how the game of money works? What is getting to too much debt? What is being over leveraged? What is having a good credit score actually do for me over time? What is an investment going to give me ROI over time? Understanding how all that works. Now, part of the other aspect to this is quite simple. Is like, why do investors care about returns? Or why would they earn returns? Because they accept the risk. Why do landlords collect rent? Because people value shelter. Everyone needs a place to live. A couple other things would be like, the idea is money isn't necessarily random. It follows incentives. And that's how games also work, is there's an incentive when you understand how the playing field works. And again, it applies to even, again, the dating world. In the dating world, when you go out and you're socializing, you have to understand what's going on with certain people, reading body language, behavior. Did they look at me? Did they give me a thumbs up, smile, all these things, right? So it's like money in itself is played the same way, just as with athletes on a field, with coaches. And here's the thing, that all has its own language too. Because have you ever looked on YouTube or been out watching a game and you happen to hear a play being called? Do you understand what any of it means? Probably not. I've looked up so many YouTube videos on football plays being called, and there's so many things that they say so fast. There's so many hand signals and movements and all this stuff. And you're like, what the heck are they saying? The average person doesn't understand that. The players do. But they've also had to study it. They're, to say, very obsessed with it. They're passionate about it. They love it. It's their secret language. It's their code. The same thing applies to money. You have to understand it. You have to study it. You have to learn it. You have to really live in it a lot. And again, I'm not saying that it's for everybody, but even in the most basic way, it's important to know it, because not everybody is an athlete. Not everybody's a politician. Not everybody knows how to play a chess game. But yet everybody has to handle money, whether in your business or your personal life. It's part of your daily life. So understanding the most basic concepts about money goes a long way. It's not just only for the top 1%. It's not just for those in the world of the elite or Ivy League schools or the ultra wealthy, whatever you want to categorize them as. It's for the everyday person. But it's also up to us to actually study it and learn it for ourselves and give us that extra little bit. And it's not like we have an opponent on the other side, across from us. It's just for us to know every day, because the difference is with money, with finances, you're giving yourself better options, a tool to use, something to just make your life better. So next time you hear the term, oh, money is a game, the language of money, think about it. What are you doing if you're watching a sport? Or whatever it may be in your life that's happening in that moment, think about a scenario and ask yourself, did I learn this game? Did I learn the rules to what I'm doing to this moment? How the process is done? Is there something here that I learned? And how do I apply that to learning the language of money? It's not complex, but anything, it requires time, requires studying, requires learning. And the more you put time and energy into that investment for yourself, you are going to gradually learn to understand the language of money. And even those before you, anyone who's has those who have a lot of money also have to learn that. People don't just know this from the ground up. Or sorry, people just don't know this when they're born. They learn from the ground up. Everyone goes through that journey. But it's also up to you to want to learn it. No one can force you to learn it. You have to take that upon yourself. Athletes, politicians, those kind of people, they learn it because that's their field. They have to study it, and they have to learn to master it. So I hope this was helpful in some way, because I know sometimes when people say you have to learn the language of money or money, master the game, or any of those things, it's kind of what? What are you talking about? Or there might be people out there, and you might be one of those who just doesn't really mean much, which is totally fine too. Again, it's up to you to decide how you want to take this. But I hope this was beneficial somehow, and maybe did make you look at some things differently. I was actually out watching a FIFA match a couple nights ago, and as I was sitting there watching the game, I was kind of like thinking, and I'm thinking, I'm not at a stadium, but it feels like I'm at a stadium because it's an outdoor environment and I'm in a crowd of people and everyone's cheering for the same team. But then I started observing the game itself and realizing, like, one way or the other, there's a money machine behind it. Whether you're at home paying a subscription to watch this, whether you're out with friends having a drink, eating food, having a good time. But then how does the economics behind all this work? That's understanding the game. That's understanding the business of it. That's understanding how it all comes together. But that's just how my brain works sometimes too. Anyways, hope you guys are having a good week. Look forward to being back next week. Till then, have a good rest of your week, guys. Take care and stay hydrated wherever you are, because it is summertime.